Oh my gosh. I have not done this in so long. I call motorcycles. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I didn't change that. I literally made that like years ago, but let's get into it. So I'm going to be talking about how I got into Morgan State. Hold on. How am I gonna make a Morgan video without Morgan merch on? Hold on. I'm gonna be right back, y'all. Okay, I'm back. Shout out to my friend Maya for this cruise shirt. I don't even know if she gave it to me. She left, but like she left it here. I don't know if she wanted it back. If she wanted it back, I will send it back to you, girl. But until then, it's mine. I already know. Big 1867. Okay, let's get to the video. But I wrote, if you guys see me looking down, because I did write some things down for y'all, making some notes and all that. So let's get into it. So how did I get into Morgan State University, knowing that I live in Seattle, Washington? Yes, if you didn't know, I live in Seattle, Washington. I went to like a school in like what's the word for it? Yeah, suburbs. I went to a school in the suburbs, North Seattle. So yeah, I'm not directly in Seattle, but like I'm north, okay? That's as much as y'all gonna get. I had a 2.8. Yeah, I had a 2.8 GPA. It was really low, but I knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU. And I knew that, no, actually I lied. Let me tell you my story. I always hoped that like I could tell the story with like my friends and stuff, but I'm still working on that. So until I make friends, bear with me. Well, I have friends, but like, y'all know what I mean. But anyway, so yeah. So I had a 2.8 GPA. I had a very low GPA. I had no business going as far as I did, but y'all, like I wanted a new change. I did not like where I was at. Like I got in so much issues with a lot of like the black kids in my area and stuff. So I just decided to leave and, get a fresh start. Also, I was going through with my family. And I always knew that I was going to go out of state for college. And I stood on it. So originally, back in middle school, I really wanted to go to Howard University. And then if y'all can hear that, I feel so bad for y'all. Sorry. Let me go see what's going on. They're loud as hell, y'all. And I'm nosy as hell too, but they needed to keep going down. I'm recording this video at like literally 2 a.m. And who's gonna check me? Maybe this Red Bull, this is not a sponsored video, but maybe this Red Bull is gonna keep me going. And for all my Seattle, all my 206 babies, y'all know. Back to the video. So yeah, I want to go to Howard. Didn't know I don't know. I just fell out of love with Howard. I love Howard, but then I found out about the housing crisis, and then I found out really quickly that all HBCUs go through a housing crisis. Period. But by the time I fell out of love with Howard, I wanted to go to FAMU, and my GPA just wasn't cutting it. So if you know me personally, you'll know like the real story of why. And maybe I might do a story time on why I ended up not applying to FAMU, because the story is just so dramatic for no reason. But yeah, until then, yeah, I didn't, I wanted to go to FAMU, but my grades went up to par. My SAT score sucked. I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't really care about my SAT score. I think I got like an 880. I'll post it somewhere around here. But yeah, my SAT and GPA sucked. Like, oh my gosh. And people were telling me like I wasn't gonna get into college, that I should just drop out and I should just give up. And I was like, no, like I'm gonna go to college. Like F y'all, like, I'm gonna do it. So hey TT.
Hey y'all, I'm the roommate. Wow, it's 2 weeks in this
girl. Anyways, we're not. I don't want to come and sue me, bro. So yeah. With that being said, my GPA sucked. So let's get into how I was able to leave literally across the freaking country to here. So I got my notes. We're gonna get into it. I do want to include that every school has different GPA requirements, and make sure you look into those. Thankfully, Morgan State didn't have really crazy requirements to get in, but yeah. First things first, before I even made any choice, like any choice at all, I prayed. I prayed, y'all. I don't know if I have it all written down. No, actually, I lied. At the time, I had a iPhone 7, and all my like prayers were. Anyways, first things first, I prayed. I prayed every single step that I took. Like, no joke. What's the word? Whatever your religion is, whether it be like spiritual or like your religious, Muslim, whatever it is, pray. Stay close to that higher being, because I guarantee you cannot do it by yourself. Like, you can't. That college process is stressful. It's spiritually draining. Like, a lot of things, it's just draining. It's just, especially when you have low self like esteem when it comes to academics and stuff. Just pray. So yeah, first after I got the spiritual part out of the way, I knew what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU, and most HBCU were out of state, and they were mostly south or east, like southeast. Like, there was none on the west coast. I mean, there is one, but like that's not really an HBCU. I mean, it can be debatable. But yeah, know what you want, have an idea. I knew that this goes into my next, what was like a pinpoint under, anyways, know what you want. So I knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU. I knew that I wanted a big school, and I also knew that I wanted the school to be in the city. I am a city girl. I've always grown up in the city. As you guys know, Seattle's like a metropolis city, so yeah, I wanted someplace like that. I also wanted, what else did I want? Oh yeah, I wanted a church nearby so I can be, close to God and all of that. So, yeah. I think my, like, 2 schools that I had, like, my top 3 schools that were on my list, like, my actual list was, like, Morgan, Clark, Atlanta, and then Virginia State. So, yeah. And then, yeah, that's my next place. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking down from my nose. But also, once you know what you want, like from the school itself, it's dang. I kind of, sorry y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just really proud of my nose, because it kind of when you're eating something and it's just like you're eating something and it's like it melts all together, like the flavors go together. Like, that's how I feel right now. Like, all my stuff it melts together. But this is my next point about the major. I probably shouldn't have put this before, but it goes into it anyways. So know what you want to contribute to the world. Like, I knew that I really like social media. I really like talking to people. I love, putting assemblies together for my school, all of that. That was my forte. I was also really good at public speaking. So I did research on what I wanted to contribute to the world. At first, I wanted to be a communications major, but I did, in this world, I'm not going to tell you, to go for your dreams, but go for something that you are happy with. Right? Go big or go home, of course. But my brother also said I have to be realistic. No offense to the communication majors out there. They always say making money, but I knew that I wanted something that's going to make me what's the word? It's not settling, but it's go half and half, right? So instead of doing communications, I did marketing. So I decided to do marketing. I'm a sophomore right now. This one advice I'm also going to tell y'all. I'm supposed to be a freshman, but if you're in high school, honestly, I don't know, some schools do it differently. At my school, personally, they did it high school juniors to seniors. They were allowed to take dual enrollment, and I took dual enrollment full-time. That's the best decision of my life. Do it. If you are right now watching this video I don't know what to do, I don't know how to cut the cost of my college, listen to me right now. This is going to go into my next point too. But if you know your major, look at the major for all the schools you're applying to. All schools are at least your top 3, right? Look at the requirements for your major and the general like courses that you have to take, and take them in high school. Take them in high school, y'all. That is a cheat. My brother, like, he literally pushed me to do it. I'm telling you, dual enrollment, well, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but from my experience, dual enrollment was easier than it was to do in high school. It was just easy. The only thing that's a little bit tricky with dual enrollment is that, like, it's just faster. It's not harder, it's just faster than your normal pace at like in high school. But you'll get into, like, I'm telling you, it'll help you. If you're at AP right now, I'm not saying don't do it, but I do suggest dual enrollment over AP. That's just me though, don't fight me. But that goes into my next point, research. Do your research. Bro, you need to do your research on the school. You need to see. I'm not saying like go to, look on TikTok and see how the vibe is. Yes, of course, do your research on TikTok and all of that. But generally, like, do your research on the school. What type of school are you going to? What type of, yes, that's where like you would go on TikTok and see what the vibe is. TikTok can be misleading. But remember, you're here for a degree, right? So if that school is perfect for you academically, go. But if you're unhappy, don't go, right? There's other schools that give you both. And if it's not the school that you intended, it's okay. You can always leave. You can always switch. You can always transfer. Just remember that this is not be all, end all be all. I remember when I wanted to go to FAMU, I felt like FAMU was the only school I wanted to go to. And that was that. It was FAMU or do or die. And my cousin was like, why don't you just look at Morgan? There's other schools that can accompany you to. So, yeah. Do your research. How I did my research was I would talk to different college students, ask about their experiences at obviously the schools that I was interested in, meaning Morgan, Clark, Virginia State, all the schools. Any school that I had an idea, I would do my research. I'll go to TikTok. I'll see students that go there. I'll ask them about the school, the good or the bad, the real, all of that. Because social media isn't going to give you that. But if you ask the students their personal opinions on it, they will give you the real tea on it, right? Like me. If you are interested in Morgan State University, be free to text me, email. I'm not bougie. Yo, my phone is acting up. Talking about some managed storage. Okay, bye. Kind of embarrassing. But anyways, let's get into it. Back to what I was saying though. Research. And make sure like you're getting your money's worth, because I don't know if you guys know this, but you have to pay to apply to those colleges. And $20 adds up after a while. So if you can get a fee waiver by your school, do it. For all students that are applying to HBCUs, there is an app for us, a common app. I did apply to Common Black App. Funny enough, Morgan State actually didn't invite me to apply. Like, the way how it's set up, like how other creators didn't tell me when I was applying. Hold on, let me fix my lighting. Is that the lightest it can go? Oh. Anyways, what they didn't tell you is that schools can invite you to apply. I thought you just pay your little $20 and that was it. And you could just apply for free at any school. No, they have to invite you to apply. So, yeah. I do say it is worth it because, like, it's literally 64 HBCUs on the app. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's 60, 70, but I know it's around that range. And you just apply to all HBCUs. And if that's what you want, like I wanted, do it. And for all the other folks that are just applying to college, just apply to college. There's Common App, there's actual websites. And sometimes colleges will actually email, like invite. It's kind of like they just email you. They email you and be like, hey, like, do you want to apply to this college? You don't have the free waiver. Sometimes your college will give you a free waiver just to apply. So, yeah. So that brings me to my next point. Apply. Once you did your research, you know what schools you want to go to, apply. This doesn't go in any sort of order. You could apply and then do your research. But I personally did my research before I applied just to break down on money. So I know like what I wanted and I wasn't spending my money on nothing else. Why is the lighting going down? Oh, that is so bright. That's so right. Back to what I was saying though. So yeah, apply. And then my next point is, once you get in, or even before you even get in, make sure you have a game plan. So this is specifically for the African children. I mean, it could be for any immigrant, but any immigrant child that's trying to, like, you know, go out of state and stuff, have a game plan. See, what I did is I applied so much pressure. So I knew that my parents weren't gonna off rip say yes. Like, of course you can go across the country. Because let's be real, if you're a parent, would you let your no? So I knew I had to build up my trust. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was low-key a bad child. Like, I was not listening to my parents as much as I should have. I was very stubborn, but my stubbornness and determination is what got me here. And if you really want to go, you're really gonna have to stand 10 toes down on it. Like, do not budge, because my parents, honestly, my whole entire like village knocked me down. It was them doubting me the most. It was them telling me not to apply there, not to go, to stay in state. College is college at the end of the day, right? You're still gonna have fun. You're still gonna make friends. But if you're like me and you're stubborn, you don't want the same experience as everybody else, this is specifically for you. And I'm gonna tell you the tea, what I did to, you know, leave my little bubble. So I started talking about it. Now, I don't know if it's a psychological practice. I wish I did more research before I came on camera, but I'm just telling y'all what I specifically did. Is junior year, you know, I'm getting ready to apply for college. So I started implanting the idea to my parents that I might possibly leave. I didn't straight up tell them, hey, I'm leaving, but I did tell them, like, hey, like, I'm planning on leaving out of state. Of course, they were mad. Of course, it sparked up a lot of arguments, but you have to be like mentally strong and mentally ready, and also have a great support system. That's not on the list, but have a great support system. If you are trying to leave out of state, you need a great support system, because I'm telling you, you cannot do it by yourself. That's why I told you in the beginning of this, pray. My verse, I'm telling you, I have like a special verse that helped me. Anytime I used to get into it with my family, or anytime I felt discouraged, any of that, it was Mark 9:23. And Jesus said to his disciples, anything is possible for one who believes. I don't know if I butchered that verse, God forgive me, but along those lines, that's the verse that helped me get through what I went through. So a lot of people did not want to hear what I had to say, but I would constantly say out loud. I would constantly speak it into the world, because your words have power. I hate to sound like those like spiritual girls, no offense, but like those spiritual girls be like, say out loud, da, 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 da. No, but like seriously, say it out loud. Say it like, I'm this student, I do this. So once you like imitate, honestly, yeah, imitate the person you want to be, because that's what helped me personally. I made a vision board. Now, I don't know for how it works for y'all, but I know for me is I cannot have my vision board physically. Like actually, let me show y'all what I do. Give me a second. Please don't fall. Give me a second. So what I do is I put my vision board somewhere where I can't really see it, and I can subconsciously see it. I'm about to show y'all. I know I'm not supposed to show you my visions because people have bad intentions, but I just pray that y'all don't have bad intentions and y'all really love me for me. Okay, sorry y'all. But this is what I will do, is I would just get every single thing, no matter how crazy it was, no matter how big and delusional it looked, I put it in a vision. Because in the Bible, it tells you, sorry, for all my like spiritual or Muslim folks or whatever, I don't know if it's whatever it says in like your holy book or whatever it says in your practice, but I know for my practice, it says specifically to put it on a temple and bring it to God. God wants to hear you. God wants to know like what you want from, you know, what you want from him. He wants to help you on that journey. Do not let him out of this journey. That's what I did personally. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got so scared because everybody around me was telling me like not to do it, not to go. I thought God didn't want me to go either. I didn't know that until I talked to God. I talked to God myself, and told him, hey God, like this is what I want. And I consistently kept praying and praying and praying. That is the key, to consistently keep doing it. And this is, this is where I'm gonna go back to the worldly stuff. Worldly stuff, I meant like I consistently kept talking about it, about it into the universe, even though I also kept talking about God. But yeah, I kept speaking it out loud. I only spoke good things into it. I only said, I'm a Morgan State student. I want to go to Morgan State. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be the best student. I'm going to be on my P's and Q's, all of that. Right? So what I did around my African parents, also to like try to budge them to like let me go and stuff, is I was really stubborn. I did not apply to no in-state schools. Don't do this, y'all. I'm telling you, do not do this. It's not smart. But I was so stubborn. I was so stick on it. Like, I was sitting 10 toes down. Like,
See that? What did you do for me? Are you okay?
Mommy, I'm fine. I was not playing. So what I did was I applied to about 13 schools. I got into actually every single one of my schools except for Clark Atlanta. Which is ironic because when it really came down to it, it was Morgan State versus Clark Atlanta that I really wanted to go to because I'm a marketing major. So I applied to 13 schools out of state. Yes, they're all HBCUs. My parents were really furious when they heard about this. They thought I applied to in-state school. They try to, listen, your African parents are going to bribe you. They're going to try to embarrass you, but you need to play the game back. Okay, once they're around their friends, you need to start talking about college and how excited you are and how you're about to go out of state. Your parents are probably going to be like, oh, I don't want her to go out of state, she's being delusional. Be delusional, don't care, right? This is why I'm saying you have to have a game plan, because you have to be ready for the mental torture and the spiritual battle that you're going to go through, right? And I say it's spiritually and mentally because they will try to break you down. They will try to embarrass you. They'll try to talk about it in front of people to make sure like, oh, look at her, like she's trying to do this, da-da-da. So many people doubted me. So many people doubted me. They told me because my GPA was low, I wasn't going to go to no colleges. I wasn't going to go out of state, and I needed to shut up and apply to an in-state school. But I didn't listen to them, and neither should you. I'm a living testimony. I'm telling you right now, I'm a living testimony. I don't know, I'm probably saying it wrong. Testimony. I don't know. But yeah, have a game plan. So this also goes into like financial aid and stuff. I knew how expensive my school was, the expenses of going back and forth, and that's why you need to plan ahead. You need to plan what you're gonna do. What's it called? When your parents are being stubborn, like they don't want to give you money, like what are you gonna do? Are you gonna get a job? Are you gonna work in school? What are you going to do? You need to come up with those things. So my plan was to get a job. And right now I am working. I do work. I work for a school. Originally I was working. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that out loud. But I was working for a restaurant. And here's a trick. Here's a trick. Come closer. You're going to go to a big company. Just apply to a big company like Walmart, like any fast food restaurant. Stay there for about like 3 to 7 months. So make sure you're working your senior year if you plan on working, and transfer. That way, it will be easier for you to get a job in college. Because I'm telling you, once you get to college, it is not easy to get a job. They know you're a college student. They know you're about to leave, like especially if you're an out-of-state student. So you're going to want to transfer. My best bet is to go for a work-study job. And my school does like handshake and backstage, I believe. I don't know. I can't remember. But I know that we for sure do handshake. So look into handshake. Look into your school. Look if your school does handshake. You can also do LinkedIn, Indeed, but I prefer handshake for school jobs, and then LinkedIn and Indeed for like jobs off campus and stuff. But yeah, I also knew that I wanted to become an RA, and now I'm in the process of becoming an RA because I know my brother next year. Also, congratulations to my brother Jarvis. He is going to college this year. Jarvis, if you do see this video, I'm so proud of you. You are literally my biggest blessing, one of my biggest blessings in my life, and one of my biggest supporters. So Jarvis, I do love you. You too, Tina, if you do watch this video. But yeah, back to what I was saying though. I knew my brother was going to go to college next year, so I knew I had to come up with a plan. I don't know if I was going to pay with loans, if I was going to pay for my school out of pocket, so I knew that I needed to think quickly on my feet. So I decided to apply to be a RA, so next year I can pay for housing. So I already told my mom the game plan, like, I'm going to become an RA, I'm going to pay for housing this way, I just need to cover the first year, and then the second year, I'll just put loans on myself. And not only that, I have another game plan with, see if you can find somebody that lives in the state that you're trying to go to, that you can use their address. Like, let's see, like me, I have a close family friend. She lives in Virginia. I'm going to contact her and ask if I can use her address so I can get in-state tuition so it can be easier, right? So you see the pattern that I'm trying to say. Like, you need to have a review for everything. And I believe, like, if you live in a certain amount of years, correct me, don't come at me, but if you live in a state that does what am I trying to say? If you live in a state that does this switch over, okay, like, for example, if I were to go to Cali, I was from Washington, so if I were to go to California, I could get in-state tuition, right? I don't know what the word is for it. I'll put it here somewhere around on the screen, but see if the state that you want to go to offers you in-state tuition. If not, I believe if you could live in the state for like a certain amount of time, you will also be offered in-state tuition. Don't come at me, but yeah, I can make another video talking about how you can go about that process, but that whole process is very lengthy itself. So yeah, that's what I mean by make a game plan. Anything they throw at you, you need to review it, like any possible thing when it comes to money, when it comes to transportation, when it comes to anything, like, because transportation, I don't have to worry about it. And I don't know if it's the East Coast, but I know for Maryland specifically, they have a great transportation system, especially when it comes to buses. Buses come to 15 to 20 minutes, but back in like Washington, the buses will come like every hour. But it depends on where you are. Like if you're in like Seattle, like shout out to the dogs. But if you're in Seattle, buses come like 15 minutes. So if you're in the city, come like 15 minutes. It comes faster than it is if you live in like Oscars, like, you know. So yeah. And my last one is pray again and also make a vision, but I already touched on that. So that, I guess, make a game plan will be my last thing. So I can sing so, but boom, that's what you're gonna do. That is what I did. And then this is like very unnecessary. You don't have to do this, but I was not playing no games with my parents. They thought I was playing. I was not playing at all. I literally booked a ticket to go visit the school. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention in the school. Mention in mention in the video. Make sure, like, you know what your school looks like. Make sure you like the vibe. Look at it, all that. If you're in state, go look at the school. It's really cliche. You already know what it is. Go tour the school, see if you like it, see if the vibe is good there. See if you fall in love with it. See, I was not playing no games. I booked a flight Seattle all the way to Baltimore, Maryland with my two friends. Shout out to Chichi and Ifya, y'all. I need to do a story time on that story. On that on that video, on that trip too. But yeah, I literally booked a flight and I didn't tell my parents until a month before I left. They couldn't do nothing about it. And a lot of the things I did once I did talk about college and stuff, I'll do it in front of like other people. Because if you know, immigrant parents like to flex. They like to appear and look good in front of people. And that's what I did. I took it to my advantage, and I kept talking about college in front of other people so that they wouldn't look bad. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel bad, but I did gaslight my parents a little bit too. I'll be like, oh, my parents want me to go to college. I told them I didn't want to go to this school, and they want me to go to this school. And I told them if I don't go to that school, I'm not going to go to college at all. Yeah. I gaslit them, and I feel really bad because they didn't deserve that. But they kind of did. They were not going to let me go to my dream school. And honestly, if it all doesn't go your way, it's okay, because other things are coming for you, and it maybe wasn't for you. I'm not trying to say that. I just want to encourage y'all just to do it, especially if your family is toxic. My family wasn't per se toxic, But my family, you know, it got my nerves here and there. And I just knew I needed just to grow up a little bit. And I guarantee you, if you do have a toxic relationship with your family and you leave, your relationship with your parents will just go 10 times better. Like, they're gonna miss you. You're gonna have your own space. They have your own space from you. They're gonna, like, your relationship will grow wonderfully. Yeah, I can sign for that. I can sign for that. Y'all need to leave. And even if you do go, like, even if you do follow my advice and you fall to the T and you get it and you end up not liking it, like I said, there's other places you can go to. It's not the end of the world. And college is college. College is a learning experience, and it's not for everybody. But if it is for you, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you be safe, and I hope that this video helped you. Comment down below if you want me to make any more advice videos about getting into colleges, especially going out of state. Any advice, like how to go out of state, how to pack for that, any college content. I'm your girl.